All right, we're going to start this video off showing you guys the engine. We got it back from the machine shop already. Everything went a lot quicker than what we expected. So if you watch the early videos, if you didn't, go back and check it out. I think it's the most recent one on the engine. We decided to go with the 455. Main reason being, our machinist is a Pontiac guy, and he happened to have a set of forged, it's hard to see through the plastic, I really don't want to take them off. They had about, 2 hours of run time on them, doing a dyno session and whatnot, but they're 30 over forged Pontiac pistons. They're flat tops. They were in beautiful shape, has the coating on the skirts and all that fancy stuff. So that's kind of why we went this route.
Speed Pro.
Yeah, Speed Pro pistons, but anyway, he hot tanked the block, which has got a little bit of flash resting on it, obviously, from sitting out, but we'll take care of that when we go to paint the engine. But the block has been cleaned, and then Paul Spots, is that his name? He supplied the brass core plugs as well as our Ram Air 4 cam that we're running in this. And put the cam retainer plate up here. I didn't want to misplace it. But it's the stock crank, which these are the really good cranks in 70. All he did was have to polish it up. Stock rod bearings, stock main bearings, everything was in beautiful shape. Didn't have to be line bored or anything like that.
And our stuck cylinder.
Yeah, the stuck cylinder. So basically what we did was took the whole engine 30 over. And if you guys remember, that cylinder had a real bad pitting up on the edge. 30 over didn't fully take it out. So we ended up going a little bit more, and he sleeved it, and then it matches the 30 over on the other cylinders. So one cylinder is sleeved, but everything was savable. Everything was in fantastic shape. And also, what's his name, Kyle, up at Beachy's, he had a set of 6X Pontiac heads that he was going to do years ago and ended up not ever getting to them. And we want to run pump gas on this, but still be able to kind of get the best bang for your buck as far as power and still be able to run pump gas. So he had those laying around. He's already done a lot of the porting work on up in the valve areas on the exhaust and the intake, and that's all done. So we scored those. So we're getting roller rockers, getting new springs, and they'll go with the Ram Air 4 cam and new what?
And when he tested those on the flow bench,
yeah,
the CFM was 260.
260.
So that's pretty good for a cast iron.
For a cast iron head, they were flowing 260 CFM. So that ought to really help with the dual 4 intake we're going to run on this and everything else below. So we should make some pretty good power. But I don't really want to take it out of the plastic right now because we're not doing anything with it just yet. He actually has to machine the valve seats, or not the valve seats, but the
for the Viton rubber valve
seals. For the Viton rubber valve seals. You actually have to machine the top a little bit so you can get them to seat properly. And then after that, we should get the heads back. Yeah, it just actually takes it down so those new valve seats seat over properly and don't want to pop back off.
And then we'll cover that, but we're going to run Chevy 7/16 studs, valve studs. So then we'll have some adjustability with the valves.
Yep. Which we'll go more over that. We'll probably do a whole video on putting this engine together because new cam bearings are put in it as well. So basically it's ready for us to throw the heads together, bolt those on, throw the cam in it, and the rest of the engine. So we'll do a whole video on putting this thing together, and we'll unwrap it then and show you guys everything that's been done to it. But just wanted to give you a good update on it.
And then what Ryan said with the 6X heads, when you put a 6X head on a 455, this is a 70 455, we're going to be at 9 1/4 compression.
Right in that area.
Right in that area, so it'd be perfect for 9.3 octane and a drag and drive event or whatever.
So anyway, I'll probably just end this clip off here and we'll move on to what we're addressing on the back to start getting everything ready for the rear end. All right, what's up? Some of the parts I mentioned we were waiting on to make some more progress just came in. So I'm gonna set up a little tripod here and do an unboxing and show you guys what we got. Okay, so I was actually a good YouTuber and filmed a little section here unboxing all the new parts. Okay. Here's all the new shackle bushings. Or I should say, leaf bushings. And then there's the new shackles and bushings. Much nicer than the old pitted, rusted out original ones. And then in this box here should be the shock relocation bar for between the frame instead of running them to your trunk pan / floor pan. Ooh, a box within a box. Boxception. Some installation instructions, but we're men, so we don't need those where we're going. Got all our hardware and the crossbar itself. So looks like pretty good quality. So now that you saw this, we'll probably slide up underneath the car here and we're going to see how this thing fits and see how she looks. All right, as you can see, got the thing kind of lightly put in here and I got the bolts just loosely mounted. Got a little old fuel line clip in the way of getting this thing into position. So I'm gonna move this guy out of the way here. Hopefully. Actually, I thought I was gonna have to get some pliers, but this little girl may pop right out. Yeah, let me get some pliers. There we go. All right, now let's see if we can get it. Actually, it is supposed to be forward just a little bit, so let's take this thing forward just a hair here. And it should line right up with the factory shock mounts here. Yep. And oh, yeah, it's gonna move a little bit until we hold it in place, but that's pretty much it right there. So we're pretty much in. So about right in line. So bring you back here. So there we go. Pretty simple. So now we're gonna look into if I can drill to the top or if I'm gonna weld a little bit of those top brackets. Not sure what I'm gonna do yet, so we'll get back with you guys when I get there. Okay, left off showing you guys we had the shock relocation bar up in there. So we had it up in here. We got it lined up with the shock holes mating up with these shock holes. So that way we know the shocks are gonna be in the stock location. Outlined my bracket and did my holes here. And it lays up here just like this here. So basically I went through and outlined it and then put my center punch in there and pop those little holes in it, so we can use a little 1/8 inch drill bit to get this, basically drill a pilot hole, and then step up to a 5/16, and then we should be able to bolt these side pieces in. Kind of past that threshold. Yeah, I'd feel a lot better if we welded the top of that. I don't trust those bolts as far as you can throw them.
Really? How are you gonna weld it? From out here?
Either out there or inside here, just right up in here.
Yeah, what could you get to better? This is all in your way, Ryan. Come out here and look. I bet you could weld it from here. It'd be great. And then you don't have this in your way.
Okay, as you saw, we just got those things bolted in, and up on top, they have that lip that lays over that you're supposed to bolt it in, but you kind of got to either have the body off it or jack your body off. And I don't really care to do that just because these style bolts are the ones where you drill a little bit smaller of a hole, and then they kind of have that slit to self-tap and bite in, and I don't really trust that as far as I can throw them. So I am basically going to bolt the sides in like we did, which that's already done. And then I'm going to clean up this edge here and then weld across the bottom and put a nice bead across the bottom. And then they're in for good, because it's not like we ever want to take it out. And God forbid if we ever did, you just cut through your bottom weld and take the bolts out and it would be out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up and we'll get it welded. Okay, so we ended up deciding to weld across the bottom. Obviously, it's the easiest to get to the top. I just couldn't really get the welding gun in there. This side here was really dirty and impregnated with rust. Cleaned it as best I could, and I actually concentrated a lot of the heat on both sides towards the plate, and then went back over with a weave bead and carried it in and burned it into the frame really good. And I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. And this side here welded way better, so it must have been a lot cleaner. Overall, though, turned out pretty good, and I'm happy with it. Can't really complain. All right, so this frame is really, really dirty, really rusty and pitted. There's really a lot of contaminants in it. So what I did is I really focused the heat on the thickest part of the metal, since this is thicker than the chassis, and then went back over it with a filler at the bottom to connect the two together like a big giant weave bead. So turned out pretty decent there, and then turned out pretty decent over here as well. And being that my welder isn't the strongest guy in the world, but this ought to work out just fine. Okay guys, here it is. Got it all bolted up. Now when we go back and touch this chassis up, we'll fix the runs. I just wanted to toss some paint on this stuff so that way we don't have any rust. But it's all bolted up and in there. Turned out pretty good. And then this piece here, I'm gonna go through and smooth these things out, and probably, I'm not sure if I'll pop this back off, but I might drill some holes through here and plug weld it back on like the factory and grind these things smooth. And then I'll probably do the same with the lip here and go back, get rid of these guys and do some nice stitch welds through here. But as for now, we got that thing in. I got it evened up from side to side as well. So I was pretty stoked on that. And then we'll go back and finish these up next. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed that shock relocation bar install in case you're wanting to do that on yours. And I really hope you enjoyed the update on the engine because that stuff's coming together a lot quicker than we expected. So we're excited about that. I know this car's taking a little while to build, but hang in there, we're getting some more parts in, hopefully be making some more progress. I've also got another video started on patching some holes in the inner fender wells. So that should be in the next one as well as some other things. But I think something else I didn't show was Dad come through and got that spare tire delete panel painted that we made in like the first early videos of this car. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed all this stuff today. So stay tuned for the next video on this. So we should have some pretty interesting fabrication stuff for those fender wells and maybe some more update information on the engine and what we're getting and doing on that. But we will see you guys in the next video. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.